This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our partner, Audible.
Yes, it is. So we are partnered with Audible. That means that if you are looking just to check it out, you don't want to put your card in and just take the dive. You can get 30 days for free on us if you go to audibletrial.com/JATG or click the link down below. You'll be taken there. You can sign up for 30 days for free and just test it out. Like there's a lot of stuff on there that you can get for free, a lot of Audible exclusives. But what I really like about Audible is that out of the hundreds and thousands of audiobooks that they have, if you decide to purchase something, that is yours forever. Like if you decide not to carry on your subscription or you want to take a break or whatever it is, you can always go back and listen to that book whenever you want through the app on the internet. Doesn't matter because it's yours. So once again, you can get that for 30 days for free on us if you go to audibletrial.com/JATG.
Again, if the streaming gods have blessed us, we are live on Twitch, Johnny and the Greg. And I wanted to welcome our friends here. You guys have seen Ken. Ken's been here before. And then there's Sean Reginald of the Video Age podcast. How you doing, Sean?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here, guys.
Thank you for joining us, guys.
Very happy to be here. Is that a bongo?
It's a djembe. Yeah, it's a djembe.
Oh, it's a djembe. Okay, cool.
It's a djembe.
Cool.
It's no big deal. I'm worldly. It's not covering. Nice. It's not covering like a rack of clothes or anything, so it doesn't look like I'm sitting there.
Very nice.
Wanted to thank you guys for actually jumping on the podcast, and for those of you who are actually watching us, join the chat. We're going to have some movie discussion today on, I guess, kind of like piggybacking on the Oscars. I appreciate you guys being here, not watching the Oscars, hanging out with Johnny and the Greg. That's awesome. What I wanted to talk to you, so like I was telling you guys before, there are levels to this. I feel when it comes to movie just knowledge and things like that, and out of all the four here, I am at the lowest level. My level of watching movies are very simple. I thought Greg was the apex, and then I met Sean, and then I met Ken, and I was like, oh God, there's levels to this thing. So just let you in my little world of how I just view movies. I'm very simplistic. I have three ways of judging a movie. Either I owe them money, they owe me money, or we broke even. And that's pretty much how it goes for me. Greg is the one that dives deep into like the subtle hints in a movie or the plots that I wasn't
the nuance.
I wasn't even aware of. And then Ken will break out something from 1985 where they got the inspiration from that movie and just go off. And Sean's just great with all these little one-liners that I have no idea where they're coming from. So, all right, guys. We wanted to get you on because we came up with an idea of the overrated movie, the movie that everybody seems to love, but you're just kind of like, yeah, I didn't really care for that. That wasn't my thing. I don't get it. I don't understand why. Greg broke it down into categories. How do you want to roll with this, Greg?
What category do you want to do first?
Okay, cool. Let's just start out. Let's go with action.
And this is our opinion that like everybody's opinion that they feel that these are, and I did 5. Did you guys do 5?
5.
At least 5.
5 genres.
Yes, yeah.
No, overrated movies per genre.
5 per genre? Of course.
I got 3 between 3 and 5 for each. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I have a bunch of movies written down.
And I figured you guys would. This is one of those ones where I'm going to sit back. I'm going to give you my opinion, then I'll probably piggyback off of yours because your guys are probably way better than mine. Cousin Clay, I think you're wrong already. already starting it off, cousin Clay. You can talk to us in our chat. He has Top Gun as an overrated movie. I think that's
Well,
wrong, but that's just me.
No,
Wow.
I've
No
already
way.
corrected him in the chat.
Good.
All right, there you go.
Thank you. I don't know. I don't
There
know
you
you,
go.
cousin Clay, but you are wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's start with action and adventure. Cousin Clay has his,
Sure.
and I'll go with my small one here. You guys are probably going to murder me for this. A lot will. I, I, Gladiator. I don't get it.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
we talked about this
Oh.
before, Greg. I, I think it's good, but I've heard of football players that watch this before they go out and play, and that's not.
Well,
I,
because it's full of testosterone and
yeah, I just watched it
Yeah.
once. Like I just watched it once, and after that, I've never needed to see that movie again.
Wow.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
okay.
just me.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
Your
glory- the
opinion
glo-
is wrong. Sorry.
glory-
Okay.
Oh, I
Gladiator's
will
wrong.
be wrong
So,
for
here's-
the majority of this.
I'm
show.
glad that we covered John's movie opinions as the least of ours because he's totally wrong.
Yeah.
Let's just to put this out there, right?
Yes.
Gladiator is one of those movies that comes along. It's a generational movie where you have acting that is world class. Russell Crowe does a fantastic job in it. You have a story that actually makes sense and connects to people because there's such this fascination with Rome. And you have a score that is timeless and just makes you want to melt into it every time you hear it. That's why I think Gladiator is one of the greatest movies that's ever been put on film.
Wow. I I feel like I'm talking. I feel like I'm in an argument with my wife where she throws out a really good. She throws out really good points, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go do the dishes.
To go to bat for Johnny a little bit, I
Uh-oh.
kind of agree. I love Gladiator, but also it's kind of like not the greatest. It is a really Russell Crowe is phenomenal, and Joaquin Phoenix is outstanding, pure evil. But also, it's just I just want to watch some scenes from that movie sometimes. I don't want to watch the
The
whole
whole thing.
thing
Okay.
because it is too much sometimes. And the second one is just turn off your
Oh,
brain
well,
cinema.
let's not go to
Yeah.
there.
I don't
Yeah.
count that.
Not even gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could watch
Uh,
I could watch Connie Nielsen read a telephone book. So I guess-
Yes. They managed to fill it with wonderful actors, and then it's not a bad movie. But yeah, to give Johnny a little defense, there's
Thank you.
One of the
yeah.
things that really disappointed me, I mean, and I love Gladiator, but just recently somebody did a side by side of the Gladiator soundtrack with the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack,
Oh,
and they're the same. And it comes down to like when you look at when the projects were being developed and being scored, it was literally a copy and paste. Because they were both was it Hans Zimmer or
Hans Zimmer, yeah.
yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
and like when you listen to the opening battle scene in Gladiator with the Germans, and then you hear Jack Sparrow's theme, and you're like, oh my gosh, oh how did I miss that? But they're so super. Now they're great. I
Don't
love them
care.
both. But yeah, it's pretty close.
Uh,
And yeah,
the
Gladiator was
The
down
Beatles
there.
wrote songs for everybody, but we put them in a movie and they're still excellent. I don't care where the song is. If it's in Pirates or Gladiator, great song's
Yeah.
a great song.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's John's first one. Well, Ken, what do you got for overrated action adventure?
Oh, wow. Probably my most, it kind of crosses a couple of genres, but my most controversial one, I think Kill Bill is what I'd put in there.
Okay.
Hmm.
Also made my list. Kill
Yeah.
Bill also made my list.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I just thought it
That's
was
a really
little-
good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I know
Um,
everybody loves it. I just,
I didn't.
Didn't
I
do
mean,
much for
I'm
me.
with you on there, Ken. My notes on that one are it's a bloated, over stylized, rudderless Tarantino project.
yeah. Well, and Tarantino actually comes up a couple of times on my list
Yeah.
here. But yeah, it was just not worth the amount that was put in there. And he's always
Yeah.
been a bit indulgent, but this in particular was just
That's a good
not
one.
a whole lot of sense.
It's a good
Yeah.
one. I can absolutely see that.
Mhm.
What do you got, Sean?
Uh, You are all wrong. That's so bad for all of you. Oh my
Disagree.
God. No, I do. I love how self-indulgent and over the top it is because I like our movie tastes Tarantino wise. Like it's like, oh my God, I love all the same stuff as him, and also he loves terrible movies.
Hmm.
So it's like I don't love every aspect of it, but yeah, the first Kill Bill I think is amazing. The second one falls off hard, and yeah, it's but again, like there's a huge asterisk next to that because it's like my tastes align with this perfectly.
Hmm.
How about everybody else? Obviously not. But yeah, I do love the self-indulgent, over the top
Well,
craziness
I
of
think
it.
I don't. I disagree. I think you are in the majority. I think Greg and I are in the minority. I think
Yeah.
that's the
Well, and
that's
the
the
thing
difference
is,
here. Yeah.
I love Planet Terror that he did because it was a grind out. Like I knew what I was getting into.
Right.
Like it's a slaughterhouse schlack fest, and you go, yeah, I know. That's why I bought my ticket. Where Kill Bill was selling itself to be like, this action mecha, everything else, and I'm like, it's really not for
Right.
me.
I
Oh, I
agree.
thought it was selling itself as, the epic revenge.
Mhm.
That's that's why I was like, well, hell yeah, I love a good revenge. You should have killed me. Should have put one in my head. Oh, they did? Whoa, they should have put two in their head? Ooh.
Did she did they wear she wore like a yellow biker
Yeah,
suit, right? And that was the
Hmm.
that
It was a
was
the
callback to
jumpsuit,
Bruce Lee's
the that's what
yeah,
I
jumpsuit.
thought. Okay.
Yeah.
All
the
right.
Very
yellow and
subtle.
black stripe.
Very
Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah. Very subtle.
He's
Um,
great at that.
yeah. Oh, what do I go through that's gonna make everybody jump here? We already didn't Kill Bill. That's right. You know what?
Oh, I got another one already. I just thought of one.
I I and this is I love the first one, and actually I love the second one as well. But Dark Knight
I
Rises
knew you were
was
going there.
such a dive for me. Like Batman Begins, I liked it. I thought it was good, even though there were parts of it that I really did enjoy. Um, The Dark Knight with uh, what's his name's Joker. Just
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger's
Yep.
Joker. I mean, I like really thought it was good, and then we get to Dark Knight Rises, and it was just so utterly bloated and joyless. And I mean, not that I want joy in a Batman movie, but like everybody talks about, if Batman's got time to plan, he can take everybody. And so watching Nolan and his writers just annihilate everything about Batman and make him really good, it just sucked. Turning Bruce Wayne to a sad sack of mopey recluse. He didn't trust Alfred anymore. He's duped by everyone in the film over and over again. It's just depressing. He had 8, and he
Oh,
ends up just throwing it and some punches at him. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what? What about Batman did you forget? So yeah, that
wow.
one doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I would say
Yep.
I would say that I don't know that it's definitely of the three Nolan Batmans. It's the bottom of the list. I liked it simply because it finished a story. Obviously, plot holes all over the place
Oh
and
God.
ridiculousness everywhere. But I would also say I don't I think a lot of people would agree with you that that was not his
Mm,
best outing
no.
either.
Well, it's
For
tough.
me, he took a
It's
swan
tough
dive.
when you get into sequels
Right.
because it's going to get watered down,
But
and that's
because he did so well with Dark Knight, like that was that's one of those movies where you can say the sequel is truly better
right.
than the first outing, in
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yes.
So everybody had these expectations,
Of
and
course.
it just did not deliver.
Right. Right.
No,
Yeah.
and Tom Hardy's Bane was it was a caricature, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
was borderline itself.
Well, it's such a waste because
Mhm.
it's you got Tom Hardy. I mean, the guy is phenomenal in
Yeah.
bit parts.
Yeah.
He's amazing in little
Yes.
bits of movies. He shows up in.
I agree.
Not even Tom Hardy, but Bane. I mean, you
Yeah,
just do
Yeah,
a
yeah.
list
Bane
of Bane.
itself should have been different.
I
So
mean, the back break was the only thing that
was
made me
Banish
go
about him.
right.
Yeah.
I got one that's probably gonna, Greg, you'll probably flip a lid here, but if I'm thinking back to it and I remember watching it, I'll set the scene. I remember watching it and I remember hearing from everyone that this is the definitive movie for this genre. And I watched it for the first time and thought, this is it? This is this is the definitive, and it's Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm saying that movie by itself, watching it, I I thought the one where he's in yellow was a better movie. I thought the one where um
Fist of Fury.
what was it?
Fist of Fury.
Fist of Fury. I thought that was a better movie to me. I remember watching that and going, "Oh, that's Bolo Yang." There's no way that I think his name is John Sexton. Help me out, Ken. Was that his name?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
I remember
is,
watching
yeah.
him and thinking,
He's awesome.
that dude couldn't beat up Bolo Yang. Like, what is this? And then I just felt like it wasn't. I liked the idea, but I didn't understand how this was the movie that launched him. I didn't understand that because I thought he had other movies that were better.
Yeah.
If you guys follow.
Correct. Yes, you are correct. He
So
does
that-
have
So
movies that are
again,
better.
I'm not ripping on it. I just didn't as now.
and
look,
even I think I kind of follow you a little bit in terms of by today's standards of fight choreography, it's very blocky.
yeah, maybe that
um,
was the problem. Is I
because that-
watched it in the 90s.
That was kung fu films at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
time. They were very blocky. It was
Very
1,
stylized.
2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, stop, and those
Yeah.
kind of things.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and
so
you
I,
probably,
I understand that, but once I took that in my head and said I need to get into like 1970s, 1960s type of kung fu movies, is a little different.
Right.
Okay.
Real quick before anybody else adds anything, I that jump started a question I have. If you have to go into a movie looking at it in a certain way, is that make it a bad movie?
no,
No.
Instead of
because,
just
I
going
mean,
there, like what I'm saying, if you go there the first time, you watch it, you
Right.
come back and you're like, I didn't really like that. And then like Greg will say, well, maybe it's like, look at it this way. You go back, you look at it and you go, oh, it's not so bad if you look at it like that.
No, I think because there are movies that you look at now that didn't age well. Like 16 Candles was a great
Oh.
movie back in the 80s.
Right.
Now it's, there's some.
I haven't watched that in a while. Is it
Go
is
back?
it-
I mean, it's still funny, but you want to watch it
But-
alone because you feel embarrassed if you're sitting with somebody else.
Yeah. No. Like you watch Revenge of the Nerds
Also,
now.
yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
sexism, racism
literally
through the whole
rapey.
thing.
It's very rapey.
is very rapey. Yeah.
is it really?
Oh,
I,
so
I
rapey.
can't I
That's
can't
how he
remember.
gets-
I can't
The-
remember.
But just
So
the
been
whole
ages.
like the guy who wears a mask, like posing as
Yeah.
the girl's boyfriend, and then
Oh,
they go in and
yes.
they
Water
like
and a moon.
they hook
Yeah,
up
Yes, that's
in a
right.
in a fun house.
totally.
That's
Mhm.
right. That's right.
That's
Yeah.
creepy as hell, man.
Or don't they
Yeah.
break into a sorority house and lay in
Put
cameras
cameras.
and stuff?
Put cameras
in there,
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
now
Yep.
now it's coming
And
Hair
back to
pie.
me.
Hair pie.
They sell the pies.
Now
Yeah.
it's coming back to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
when we get to the
Yeah.
comedy section, I do have a
Ooh.
couple that I'm just like, I never
Yeah.
understood it.
But again, I think that you look at that and you're like, okay, that was at the time, it was funny. It no longer is.
Yeah.
So I don't think going into a movie thinking, okay, this was written and performed in the 80s. I don't think it makes it a bad movie. It just makes it
Yeah.
a movie that wouldn't survive today if it was
Yeah.
And
Right.
honestly, my 20-year-old can't make it through Gladiator because she's like, this is no, I'm like, this is you are clearly not the target audience
Right.
because you weren't a 20-year-old male in the late 90s. So I was, and which is why I love it. So
Well, in so many movies, like if you go and watch Nosferatu, the original from 1922,
yeah.
you'll be like, especially if you ask a 15-year-old to watch that now, they'll be like, "What the fuck is this? What are
Why
you
is it
doing to
black and
me?
white?"
This is so boring." There's some
Wow.
music sometimes, but you have to, sometimes. Like back in the day at the video store, I literally had people like, listen, you have to watch this. Sit down and watch it. Don't do other things. Watch this movie. Think about it. And you don't have to do that with all movies, but sometimes a movie, turn off your phone, just focus on the movie
You need to be into it.
and then, sit with it for a little bit. It's like
I
a
would
book.
argue with Nosferatu that came out 3 months ago is the same thing. You need to You need to know what you're getting into to really enjoy that film.
But
Right.
that was the point, though, too, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
correct.
This isn't just another vampire movie. We're remaking this classic
Yeah.
and taking it to a new level because of
So
what we have available to us now.
correct. And if you're going in looking for Lost Boys, you're going to be disappointed.
Yes.
Great, that's a great movie.
That is a
That
great
is a good. That is a good movie.
We can all agree Lost
We can
Boys.
all agree on
Good.
Lost
Yes.
All
Boys.
right, good.
Yeah,
goodness.
obviously.
Yeah, Top Gun.
So somebody says Lost Boys is overrated, we riot.
We
Get
will.
out! Kick him! Kick him!
Moving on.
Bye
Should we
bye,
move
little sinner.
Move
What's
on to comedy, Greg.
Well, I do have one more for
Oh, sure. Yeah,
action.
yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Actually, I have a couple more, but first, The Expendables. I've never enjoyed a single Expendables film.
Oh,
Single
I like the first
one.
one. I liked.
I mean,
I liked
the
it for
first
what
one
it
was
was.
okay, but I
It's-
knew I didn't have high hopes.
Yeah,
No,
that
the
was
thinnest
that
of
was me
plots
too.
with the script that just
Oh,
said mumble and testosterone.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that
You
man,
like
was
that handlebar mustache? That's
fuck,
Stallone.
no, the whole thing. I hated it. I wanted it to be good, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is a fried piece of gold or fried
They-
piece of crap. I mean, just
Yeah.
And then the
all
Pirates of the
they had to
Caribbean,
do is show up and just do a thing.
Pirates of the Caribbean sequels. For Black Pearl,
All of
love it.
You didn't like
Love
Dead
Black
Man's
Pearl.
Chest?
I didn't like any of the sequels. Like it,
Yeah.
it was diminishing
don't know.
returns the whole time.
I mean, they consecutively got worse and worse. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
But Dead Man's Chest was all right.
I will say the animation holds up so well. Like
Yeah.
Davy Jones's face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I've seen like what they did with that. I mean, because that movie's now what, 15 years old at least.
Wow.
Yeah, it was around 2000, so almost 20 years old.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is so good. And then you watch some things that even Marvel is putting now. You're like, this is nowhere near.
Captain America. If you look at the new Captain America movie, if you look at
Yeah.
the new Captain America movie with it, probably has a $500 million budget after everything.
Yeah.
It looks like poop.
Yep.
Oh, does
absolutely.
it really?
Yeah, well, parts of it, sure. Certain parts.
Parts of it,
certain-
I could
certain parts when
green
he's flying,
screen as
you're-
terribly as
yeah,
they do.
yeah. There's parts where he's flying. You're like, oh, that's not a good look. That's just not a good look.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Oh, Greg, you had more, right?
no, we're good.
Okay.
I have one for
Yeah, one more?
action venture because I didn't follow the rules, of course.
Neither did I.
Perfect. Good job, Johnny.
Why do I send production notes?
So we can look at them and go,
You
Greg, I
think-
already have
Let's go.
3 pages of
Well,
things I already
you're the
did.
talent now, so you're just like, yeah, whatever.
You think after 6 years you'd know by now, Greg?
Mhm.
Jeez. Silver Fox
so-
over there.
It's like
just bucking the
this,
rules.
guys. It's like, oh, production notes. Okay, so
Those are cute.
What was your
I
other
like
one,
these.
Sean?
The Revenant.
Oh,
this is-
Revenant.
Okay.
Yeah,
Haven't
this
thought
is
of that movie in forever.
yeah,
this is
that's
the
a
one
really
Johnny
good
Depp,
one.
Not Johnny Depp.
No,
Leo.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leo,
Mhm.
yeah, Leo
And Tom
won his
Hardy
Oscar
again.
for yes, and I think Tom Hardy is exceptional in this because he shows up and he's a guy who's pissed off that he had to lose his pelts, and he
Tom
is
Hardy.
a guy who is pissed off who had to lose his pelts, who does a terrible thing, and it's great. And then Leonardo DiCaprio runs around in the cold and goes, "Ah!" and got an Oscar for that. So
The only problem I had with them, I kind of I liked it. I liked the reason I liked it is because Inarritu, filmed it with natural light, and I appreciated what they did to create that movie.
Mm.
But if they would have stuck with the original story, it would have been so much better.
Mm.
Because the dude was chasing him down for his gun. That was it. You took my gun. I want my gun back. And that would have been so much more badass to me.
and it's a revenge story. I like revenge stories, and it's just like, oh, this is the
Oh.
movie, huh? This is what he won an Oscar for, huh? Okay.
Oh, Clay.
Oh, Clay, you.
Yeah, I know.
What'd Clay say? What'd Clay say?
Oh,
Plays in the chat
Clay.
with terrible opinions.
Yeah.
Said he
Clay
never
said,
really loved-
I know you all love it, but I never really have been into Indiana Jones. Oh, God, Clay.
I mean,
I don't think we can be
we're-
related anymore.
Clay, I'm going to find you.
we're almost at 50% of the series that I could agree with him on that, though.
Well,
so I mean, if they make another movie, then I'm gonna have to be like, yeah, he's leaning towards being correct.
that's true. Like,
But right now, I
I
can ignore
love
those.
2 of them. Love 2 of them.
I didn't think Dial of Destiny was that bad, honestly. If I'm
Well,
being honest. I mean, it
Until that
wasn't.
one part when my brain said, "Nah, we're shutting off," and I think I died until the movie was over, and then I was resurrected and brought back. Because what the fuck?
But they all had that supernatural element. I mean, even Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Oh yeah.
you had this
Yeah.
this
Oh yeah.
spirit coming out and melting people's face off. So, I mean, going back and visiting some ancient civilization, is that really such a stretch?
I'm gonna say no. But you know what? I haven't watched it since I watched it in the theater. I've never done
Yes.
it.
What, Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Well, and if you haven't gone
What?
back to it,
No,
that's a telltale.
no,
Oh.
Dial of Destiny.
No,
Oh,
Dallas.
Dallas.
Destiny.
Yeah, that thing.
I'm looking for
No,
Facebook so I can
I
find
watch
play.
I watch Raiders almost every time it's on.
And Temple of
Oh.
Doom is just fantastic.
Oh yeah.
He hates Temple of Doom.
I don't
Greg does.
hate Temple of Doom.
I love Temple of Doom.
For me, it goes.
Bite your tongue.
It goes,
Relax.
it goes
I will
Raiders.
come through this fucking camera.
I love
They have
Raiders.
that technology.
I love Last Crusade. And then Temple of Doom is third for me, and then the other two.
I love the original three. I think that was my childhood, so that I was all about that. That was awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Um.
And Sean, yeah, we did start a little bit late. I was late to the party. So, anyway, should we go on to comedy?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Comedy?
All right. You guys are gonna knock me out of the park with all these things, so I'll go first. I have 3 in a row that I think I didn't understand it as a kid. So I'll start with the old ones and go to the new one. The first one, the Blues Brothers. Never understood it. Everybody loves it.
Okay.
What did it?
I never
So we
understood
can
it.
just.
Oh
But
my
I
God.
think
Greg,
it
we
has a
can
lot
just
to
call
do
it,
with
right?
I'm not a music guy.
No, you are not.
I am not. So if there's something with that, I don't know. I just watched it and thought, okay.
I will still
don't-
walk into a room and be like, orange whip, orange whip,
Whip.
orange whip,
Orange whip.
Whips all around.
four orange whips.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no.
And I'm such a fan that I don't hate the second one. But Blues Brothers, was it 2020?
Didn't even know they did one.
No, that's
Yeah.
Bruce Brothers
No,
2000.
2000.
Or 2000. 2000,
No,
sorry.
no.
Overall,
No.
but like, if you were to just do like the musical acts, like those pieces to it, and take out the plot, then I'm like, okay,
It's lines, right? This is
it's just
it's one-liner after another. It's Zucker Brothers, it's Abrams, it's this is what makes it brilliant. And I'm friends with somebody who played a Nazi in it, so I have to love it.
got
Illinois
the
Nazis, I
bougie
hate
crap
'em.
on me. I tell you what,
That's right.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh, go
that's a
Are you
great
si-
movie.
you're
Yeah.
gonna do your other two there, John. You're just
I
gonna
am.
do this with all
I am.
three.
Yeah, I'm gonna nail you with all 3.
Okay, I'm
Caddyshack.
Jesus Christ, John! You know I'm standing right. Like this is dangerous. If I could hit my head.
I just never got it. I don't get it. I don't.
I'm all right.
I actually
I'm all
Ken.
right. Nothing.
Either
dramatic.
I haven't seen it actually since the 80s, so
It's a
I
good
haven't
thing you're pretty.
rewatched it.
Jesus.
Thank you.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a good thing you're pretty, because I'm telling you, Caddyshack is
I know.
like one of the
Everybody
definitive
loves
comedies.
it. I know.
You've
loves it.
named, yeah, you've named like 2 of the comedies that people point to. It's like, comedies that we could just show anybody. Well, Blues Brothers and Caddyshack. He doesn't like them. Fuck.
You hate
I don't know.
Do you hate puppies too, Johnny? Do you hate puppies?
No,
I mean,
actually,
come
I
on.
love
Just,
puppies.
well, I mean, that's come on.
And the last
Gifts
one,
alone, man.
the last one's more or less. It might be early 2000s or it might be late 90s. There's something about Mary.
That's on my list too.
I just,
Yeah,
I was like,
understand that.
I think that was
I-
one of those
I didn't get
momentary
this.
ones that fell flat. Yeah.
Well, another one that if you try to go back and watch it, it's just cringy bits that you're like, this really isn't that fun.
Agreed.
Yeah, it was one of those movies that it's like, oh, that one scene, man. Oh, wow. The
Well-
hair gel scene, man.
Well, and the Frankenbean scene, whereas
Frankenbeans,
Yeah.
but like I've never really found Chris Elliott to be all that funny.
No, God, not no.
And when I saw he had such a major role on Schitt's Creek, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch this, but I could stand him in that role because of the other people around him, and because all the other people around him thought that he was just as much of an idiot as everybody else, even his wife.
As we all know he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Simba Murray.
I'm done and I survived.
Yeah. That one totally
Well.
redeemed you.
Wow.
Ken?
Just wow. For me, the three I have, probably the most controversial would be Superbad.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's on my list.
I
Like I
love
didn't.
Superbad.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, it was fine, but it felt like the kids were trying to act like the grown-ups, uh,
Yeah,
and trying to bring back like a Caddyshack or something from the '80s, and it
it
just
sounds like
didn't
they
it just
tried
didn't
too
work for
hard.
me. Yeah, and they tried too hard. Another one that I wasn't a huge fan of The Hangover.
That's also on my list. Damn it, Ken! You're
That
taking all my
didn't do
good
it for
ones.
me.
Yeah.
Sorry. All
First
right.
one I was fine with. I didn't need it didn't need sequels. It
No,
just
definitely
didn't.
didn't need
Yeah,
sequels. The
no,
first one was
not at
But
okay.
I
all.
It
liked
was
the
wild.
first one.
And
Yeah.
Ted, I could do without Ted.
Oh,
Oh,
I love Ted.
Oh yeah, yeah.
okay.
It's I mean, I'm kind of over
Yeah,
who is
Seth
Seth
MacFarlane.
MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane.
Mm,
Like the thing with him is like I'm totally over with and done with him, but then like I'll see a brand new thing from him and I'll be like, "Oh, son of a bitch, that's hilarious. Damn it. What?
I
Who's
love
this
what.
guy?"
He's fantastic in interviews. I mean, he's just
Yeah,
truly
yeah.
he's a lovely individual. He just I get bored.
Shoot, not Galaxy Quest. What's the Star Trek's
Oh yeah,
thing that he did? Um,
the
Oh,
what was it
God
called?
damn
It
it.
was
Orville, the
It's
Orville.
The
Orville.
Orville,
Yep,
yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
That's a great show. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking I was going to watch it, especially in the first season when he was doing more Seth Farlandy kind of
Yeah.
humor. But then they started to get into a little bit more of like what Star Trek was, which was social commentary.
Mhm.
And he started to bring in more of that. I'm like, okay, keep going with this. And they did. And I ended up really enjoying that show.
Oh yeah, I liked how they were doing the kind of, sitcom Star Trek thing, and then they're like, Star Trek's not doing the old Next Generation thing, and we're kind of right next to it. Why don't we just walk through that door
Yeah.
and then still have comedy and just do Star Trek? And everybody's just like, what? Oh, okay, cool.
And they did,
And
I
yeah, I
mean,
need to catch up on that.
almost like halfway through the first season, or even maybe the last third of the first season, I think most of the comedy has dropped. And they're going like serious social commentary, which was great. So
It's over now, right? It's not
no,
still
no,
on.
yeah,
Okay,
I think
yeah.
they put a cap on it. I think it's done.
Season 4, I just looked up because I
Are they
need
doing
to
another one?
confirm starts filming. This is from October 2024. Supposed to be in 2025,
You know,
so
Oh,
kind of
Oh.
how they're doing TV series now. You could have a 2 year delay
Yeah,
in
you
between
really could.
seasons, and so like you think
I
it's
hate
done,
it.
but it's really not.
I hate it.
yeah.
I
As
hate
long
waiting
as
that long.
as long as they show back up and it is good, because that's the thing. Because
Yeah.
if they take that big of a break and don't deliver, then it's like,
Well, and
cool,
sometimes
That
actors
thanks.
got
happens
to
to
move
them.
on, man. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm just so
Okay.
sad. I don't wanna talk
you're
about
up, Sean.
was that 3, Ken? You
Yeah,
got
those 3.
Okay.
I got nothing because I scrambled and the two I was gonna say got snatched up
Got
Oh,
snatched
no
up.
for
more over.
comedies.
Okay. Well, I also had The Hangover and Something About Mary on my list. So the 3 I have left, Meet the Parents.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
It's just so cringy, and
I agree.
a little bit of my background is that it hits a little too close to home
Okay.
in terms of coming
Oh,
in,
okay.
and I'm just kind of like, oh god, this is
I got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Yeah.
yeah. The name thing didn't help.
Yeah.
Certainly did not help.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
One that I know I'm not the target audience for, but I save for a couple bits. I didn't like it. Bridesmaids.
They put that. It's Hangover.
I never saw that,
it's the
actually.
male
I
version
never
of
saw
Hangover.
that movie.
It's like The Hangover with ladies.
With bridesmaids, yeah.
And I just didn't. Oh, okay.
Yep. We just have a
Best
spoiler.
Picture.
We have a spoiler.
No kidding.
What one best picture?
Honora.
Oh, actually,
Honora
no, I
did?
was thinking.
Honora
okay.
wins best. Thank you for the updates, Sean. I appreciate it.
Wow,
Wow. Just
that's crazy.
that is crazy in the year that we had out there.
It's
okay.
not crazy.
Well, I
That's,
thought Amelia Perez was going to win it because they just had so much steam rolling through there.
yeah, the campaign for that one was ridiculous.
Was huge.
Okay. My last one I have, This Is 40. You guys remember that one? The
I do.
Loose spin-off?
Yeah.
I do.
It was a
I didn't
spin-off
mind
of
that.
Knocked Up.
Do you remember
Yeah.
a lot of people saying that they loved it?
They wanted to do a TV show so much.
Well,
There was a campaign to do a TV show on it because
yeah.
Paul Rudd and
Oh my God.
Leslie Mann did such a they love their chemistry together. But
I have a
And
crush
I'll
on that
admit
girl. I have a
I'll
crush
admit
on
they
that
have
girl.
chemistry,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
the film
yeah.
is not a comedy. Like it is not a comedy. It is like a hard
Marriage.
drama. I
It's
mean,
my life.
it's marriage, man. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm trying to find the funny in this, and it's just not there.
no,
Oh,
Other
so-
except for sorry, Sean, to interrupt you.
no worries.
Melissa McCarthy. Like when she's the mom coming in and her kid,
Oh, yeah.
and then she like it's in actually the credit scene where she's just riffing.
yeah.
And
Small
she's so
doses of
damn
Melissa
funny.
McCarthy I can handle. Yeah.
It's her where she's just going off, and I love it when she does that. So but again, that was a post-credit scene. Like that's nothing. It's not in the film. It didn't save the film. So
Did Sean have to? Oh no, Sean didn't have to on that.
I technically have one, but it might be drama too. Funny People. I just remember
Oh.
it's technically not a comedy. It's comedy drama thing, but it's Adam Sandler, Seth Rogen.
Yeah. And
Oh
who's the-
yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
God,
was
and-
weird.
the Rose Byrne, was she the female in there?
God, I can't remember, but I just remember that was when that was coming out.
Not
that was
not
like, oh
funny,
my
funny
God.
people.
Yeah,
Right.
well, and it's like, oh, it's dramatic too, and Sandler's doing another thing, but it just
Yeah.
Jeez,
All right, moving on to drama.
Drama, John. What do you got for
Bring it.
overrated drama?
Okay. This one I had to I don't know why this is called the greatest movie of all time, but Citizen Kane, I never understood that. I didn't see the point in it. I didn't care. They say it was the best film ever made, ever written, ever acted, and I didn't see any of that. I just thought this is a really boring movie about a guy who was I know it's about Rosebud and the only thing that gave him happiness was a sled, but I was like, "What? I don't understand how this is the greatest movie of all time." I didn't understand it.
I never took a film appreciation class to tell me why I'm supposed to be so moved by that piece of art. But yeah, I'm with John on that one. Like when I watched it, I was like, I guess I don't get it. Am I a bad movie buff because I don't get it?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah,
That's
yeah. You're both wrong.
Thank you, Ken.
But
Okay.
it
Thank
is-
you, Ken.
Okay.
It is also, it does fall into being a piece of its time
Of
because
its
it
time,
is-
yeah.
yeah, because it is very. Is it about Hearst?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
Randolph
oh,
Hearst.
it is?
Randolph- George
the-
Randolph Hearst.
Okay. Didn't
Yeah,
know
so
that.
it's supposed to, mirror him and his rise, and that's what it's supposed to be like. And then
It was a mirror for that time.
yeah, and
Okay, so
But
is it the
also-
fact that I was a 90s kid watching Citizen Kane, probably wanting to go party instead of watch it?
Possibly.
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
The other
All
the
right.
other thing about Citizen Kane is what makes it great is it's a movie of firsts, right? It
So what was the first?
just the way that they used dollies and rack shots and the lighting and there was a lot of it was like Star Wars, right? Or like Avatar.
technically,
It was just technical advancements of that time that,
Okay,
that
okay.
they used
Okay.
in the
And just-
storytelling.
Yeah, and just even things they did on set, like there's a scene where oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. The lead, the director,
Orson Welles?
Orson
Welles, tears
Unicron?
up. Yes, that I would have pulled that easier right now. Where he tears up a bedroom and breaks a bunch of furniture, and he like slashes his hand open, and he keeps going, and like it's improvisational but
Are you
it's
sure
hard to
that's not Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now?
I'm sure he was
yeah.
inspired by it.
Absolutely.
Because I heard he got hammered in where I'm talking about Apocalypse Now.
Yes.
He was getting hammered when he was doing those scenes where he's like, I think he's naked in front of a mirror or something, and he's
Yeah.
doing karate stuff or something.
He's in
Yeah.
his tidy
He's in his tidy whities,
Okay,
but he's
okay.
preparing to go out into the.
So, but that
What do
was
you
in
know?
Citizen Kane as well.
Different kind of thing, but same. Yeah,
Okay.
just He just
Um,
went loose. Yeah, if you look it up, it's a great little scene. But that's what you gotta know. It's like so the things that it's doing groundbreaking that are amazing in the 20s and 40s, you look at it 60 years later where everybody's aped it, even the Animaniacs and Tiny
Mhm.
Toons, and you've seen it 100,000 times. Then when you come to it, it's like, okay, cool. So the camera followed him. It's like
You
we
know,
hadn't
that
done
was
that
something that
before.
it was impossible. Cameras had to be stand still because they were so heavy.
Yeah.
You couldn't move them prior to that, right?
Heavy,
okay.
loud, big, and film was expensive.
Had to hold exposure open for hours in order to get a decent shot. It was crazy.
Okay. That helps. That helps with that understanding of it. Maybe you can help me with this one because this is my second one, and this is all I got. Lawrence of Arabia.
Mm. Oh my God.
That bored the shit out of me, and I wanted to shoot myself watching that thing. Is am I wrong, Ken?
Yeah. To me, to me because it's all about his story, his motivation, his reasoning for being there. And I was a history minor in college too, right? So history is that's why fictional history or historical dramas just do so much for me. But that movie, the story gets me, but then just the cinematography and the sweeping nature of the shots and the gorgeous locations that they shot on. Again, a movie of firsts and breaking into certain genres and areas that they weren't going into before. So that's
Oh,
why. I mean, I get it. It can be. It's a little long in the tooth. It's a little self-indulgent, as we say for other movies. But I could just watch. I could pause that movie and just watch it for a while. It's just
I've
wow.
never seen it.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
yeah, it's I totally understand not seeing it and not making it through because like
long.
I did movies as homework as a kid. That's how broken my brain was because like, well, this is on the Movie Hound's best list
Mhm.
and that book
Top
is
100 or
great and
whatever. Yeah.
so I've got to watch this. Oh, it's 3 hours long. Oh, nobody's rented it from the store for 3 years, so I can keep it as long as I want. Okay. Oh, I fell asleep. Oh, I fell asleep at the same part. Oh, I fell asleep at the same part again. 6 months later, oh, I finally made it through that movie. It was good. But yeah, it's you don't have to do that for movies. You can just read a Wikipedia article on it if you really want to and
Yeah.
get the understanding.
Yeah. That's true.
Mm. No, I love that movie.
Yeah,
And what do you got for
it's
drama?
You love that movie.
I love it.
Wow.
It's not.
Okay.
I wouldn't put it top 10, but it's top 50.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Easy.
All right. Who's next?
I asked Cam what he's got for drama.
Oh, drama. Let's see here. Um, well, I kind of went all over the place here. Let's go old school first. I mean, first obvious one is Crash. Crash was just a horrible, horrible
Again,
movie.
again on my list. Yep. I'm
yeah,
like, nope.
that's on every list.
Heavy-handed
Shouldn't have,
approach to
shouldn't have won.
socialism. Yeah.
Kramer versus Kramer,
Oh, okay.
which was another one that was Oscar bait. You had two powerhouses, Meryl Streep, Dustin
Yep.
Hoffman. It captured a little bit of the drama, but again, they marketed it in the wrong way for me. It didn't hit. And then probably some more controversial ones as we get a little bit further. My biggest one on my list, I'd call it a drama, but Pulp Fiction
Mm,
Oh,
just didn't.
I liked
didn't
Pulp
I know.
Fiction.
I see Sean's face.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not pounding on Tarantino. Reservoir Dogs is one of my favorite movies. I would put that in my top 20. I do like Tarantino in some cases, but Pulp Fiction just didn't hit for me. And then American Beauty is the last one I have.
Yeah, that's an easy one to totally fervently agree with you on that one.
mhm. And talking about one
That's
that doesn't really hold up over
Oh,
time.
didn't hold up 2 years after it came out, but
No, no.
and especially what happened. Well, I don't rag
yeah,
on the man, but
Yeah. No, no. Kick him when he's down. It's okay.
yeah,
Guy Pearce already did that.
Yeah.
yeah. Drag him. Um, yeah. Shoot. Uh, sorry, I lost my thought.
Okay. You got dramas on
Pulp
your
Fiction.
list
Uh,
there?
Pulp Fiction. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't agree with you on that, but it's I like the non-linear storytelling of it, the jumping here and there and then the connecting of them. That's I do love that because it's like, how are these in any way related?
Mhm.
These disparate stories that he's telling. It's like, oh, they did weave together. It's a beautiful thing, and that also helped create one of the greatest Simpsons episodes ever. The what is it, 12 stories of this.
Mhm.
I also love that episode. That I had to get to the Simpsons somehow. But yeah, Pulp Fiction. I mean, that's action drama. That's not
I,
drama.
I
Yeah,
like
it's I
I
got a
like a
couple of
lot of
cross.
things about that movie.
Yeah.
I never get to watch it because I don't watch a lot of things by myself. My wife is usually in the room, and if she knows that movie is going to be on, she can't do it because of the last scene.
Oh.
Or not the very last scene, but the last bit where it all kind of comes together
Yeah.
with the black latex. I mean, she
The
just
gimp.
can't. Yeah, the gimp. She can't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the
I'm
whole
way
that whole
past
that whole
okay.
segment. Yeah, they're gonna get media evil on his ass. I mean, that whole thing. She's just like,
Yeah.
she's out.
All right.
Greg?
Um,
Or
Oh,
Sean,
was
either
it
one.
Sean? Sorry, either or.
yeah, I'm gonna throw out my few. Like I said, I got down a rabbit hole of overrated Oscar movies, basically. So,
Mm,
The English Patient.
Not hard to do. That was on mine too.
yeah.
That I remember
God.
that
Yeah.
was another one when that came out as a kid. I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? And
Yeah.
I watched
Yeah.
it. I'm like, it's a slow, sad love story that kind of wants to be Lawrence of Arabia because it's
What
like
is it?
it's in the desert and it's trying to
Yeah.
be epic and it's like 3 hours long. What is this movie? What?
Yeah.
No, and yeah, it's just like, oh, and that one too. Okay, cool. Why? It just, yeah, not for me.
Yeah, that one's a difficult one. That's one of those, you got those movies where people say, "Yeah, that's a brilliant movie," and then you ask them what's it about, what it's about, and they have no idea because
Yeah.
they've never seen it, right?
Yeah, it looks really cool in a trailer.
Trying to, it was, it was that whole Out of Africa came out around that time too.
Mm,
Oh,
They
that's
were
right.
they were
Yeah.
really trying. There was this drive to, it's cyclical. Everything's cyclical, and that's what that was. This falling in love in a foreign place type of thing. And yeah, I agree with you.
You got any
any
more?
other ones there?
Mm, I have the Notebook, but I've never seen it, so I can't really speak on it.
Okay, that one's on my list.
Is it on your list?
Yeah, it just doesn't resonate with
Made me cry, Greg. It made me cry.
Okay, I mean, I get it, the twist ending stuff like that, but
Spoilers.
Spoiler.
but no, I mean, but I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's just that you get to it and you're kind of like, okay. The thing that came out of that was I know someone edited together a scene of just Gosling over and over again. It's like when you try to ask your wife to go to dinner or where she wants to get
Right.
food for dinner. He's like,
What do you want? What do you want?
What do you? I mean, it's just that for like 5 minutes. And
What
yeah.
made me cry the most is the fact that poor James Marsden never gets the girl.
No, I don't-
Never gets the girl.
it's finally in Sonic. He gets the girl.
Yeah,
That's true. I heard Sonic gets a girl.
Yeah.
and he's the donut lord, so I mean, hey, come on.
Well, most of mine were listed off here. We got Crash, Notebook, American Beauty. The two that I don't have that haven't been mentioned, Shakespeare in Love.
Oh yeah.
Like that was one that
Oh, I like Shakespeare in Love.
I did too.
no, I
Yeah,
tried.
but the movie that could have won Best Picture that year, do you want to know what it should have been?
Tell us.
Saving Private
Saving
Ryan.
Private
Should have been Saving Private Ryan.
Could have been
Ah,
Saving
doubt.
Private Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a Shakespeare in Love was a Weinstein production, and they just ran a hell of an Oscar campaign.
Mhm.
And
And some great parties.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
supposedly the parties and the, like just under the table bribes and stuff like that are what got votes for Shakespeare. And La La Land, I had a really hard time.
Oh yeah.
Under-
Yeah.
Like,
I
I'm
didn't
not-
understand
I'm
that.
not saying
I
it's-
did not understand that.
And I'm not saying like it. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad film. I'm saying it's an overrated film. Like the people that
Right.
were like, "Oh my god, La La Land! This is like, oh, this is the best thing ever." And I'm like, "Is it
Felt
though?
like a retread,
Yeah,
right?
like
Felt
it didn't.
It'd been done before.
It didn't break any new ground. I mean,
Yeah.
it was kind of a return to a musical drama, but at the same time, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
okay."
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, next one's kind of interesting. Horror films.
Oh, you guys
Horror.
are gonna. I need Sean to sit down. And I need
Nope.
I can't.
Nope.
There's too much stuff on my
yeah.
chair. Too much of a
Greg
collection.
might Greg, it's such a good thing Greg's not next to me right now. Here we go. You ready?
What are you doing?
Shaun of the Dead. I didn't get it. I didn't understand how everybody was
Come
But
buzzing,
it's,
on,
how it's
but
just
man.
amazing. It
it's
wasn't
got my
amazing. It
name
wasn't.
in it, but
It
it's
just
spelt
wasn't.
wrong. Come
But here's the thing
on.
that Greg can attest to. I don't. British comedy doesn't get me.
No, the
I
whole
I don't.
Cornetta series he struggles with.
I don't understand. I actually I rewatched Hot Fuzz and I
Hot
liked
Fuzz.
it. After I
Yeah.
watched it like the third time, I was like, oh, okay, I like this now. I just maybe it's I don't get British comedy. I just
Okay.
don't get it. And so
Uh,
when I was watching this, I don't know. I was watching like and I think they were doing some sort of rap, and then they looked at the zombie and he was going, and they went "Bada, bada, bada." Yeah, and I was like, this isn't funny to me. This isn't I didn't like this. So
I, you know what, John? I don't think it's British humor. I think it's, oh my gosh, what is the director's name?
Edgar
Um,
Wright.
Edgar Wright. I think it's Edgar Wright's humor that
oh,
But
is it?
yeah,
I think it's more like
it's
that kind of misses the mark for you.
Okay.
Because he kind of makes fun of British humor in
Yeah,
his.
yeah, it's
directing.
and he's
See, I
making
think that's
and
my
he's
problem.
making
I don't
fun of
pick
like,
up things like you guys pick up things.
see,
I just don't pick that stuff up, I guess.
and I have a hard time looking at Shaun of the Dead even as a horror movie. I mean, it
Like-
certainly does get there,
It's more
Right.
comedy.
like, but
yeah,
to me, it's more of a
comedy,
comedy.
horror, drama, kind of, because it's like
Come horror-y.
yeah, because you forget about that part
It's
with his
what is
dad,
it,
and it's like
the rom-com zomcom or
Rami Zombie Combi.
yeah, something
rom
like that.
zomcom, rom
Rom
zomcom.
zomcom. That rom zomcom. That's what I heard.
Because
John, what else you got?
it's
All right, this one, you got to think about the time where I grew up. It was the 80s.
just don't
So,
say The Shining, John, because I don't
oh
want
no,
to
it's
hang
not The
up on the
Shining. I
call.
love The Shining.
Okay.
I love The
Okay,
Shining.
good, good. All
Yeah.
right, good.
Yeah.
Woo.
Um, this might piss you off though, Sean. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Everybody talks about how that's a landmark movie, and I get it because maybe it was the way it was shot, where people thought it was a documentary more than an actual like just a horror movie. But I watched that, and I expected to. I guess I expected it to disturb me to the point of where it's like, oh
Yeah,
my
they're
gosh,
throwing
like
up in the theater and they're
Yeah.
running out.
yeah, and so when I watched it, I was just kind of like, this is kind of stupid. Like you can't punch that old man in the face. I don't understand this. Like, and it just didn't. It just never grabbed me. Now I've watched remakes of it, and they
Mhm.
were fine, but maybe I don't like that slasher. Maybe that's not. Maybe Leatherface and his whole clan. That's not my gig. I was a Michael Myers, Jason. I even liked Freddy every now and then, but I just Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I never understood how everybody like would freak out about how awesome that movie was.
Mhm.
So
I think this is another one. It's I can understand it because yeah, there are parts of the movie where it is just a sustained loud noise and an old man trying to drop a hammer, but
yeah,
also it's just a group of all those people in a hot, terrible Texas house
It's
making that
just
movie.
Texas.
Um, but yeah, it's another one where you've seen stuff that is, looking at this and making their movie better because they have more money and more time, and you've already seen a bunch of these kills. So when you're coming to it, you're going, okay. But I
yeah.
strongly recommend the second one because that has Dennis Hopper in it, and that goes off the rails, and it's fucking beautiful.
Okay.
But again, also there is a long scene where there is a loud sustained noise and an old man hitting someone with a hammer. So again, you
Yeah.
might not
And
watch it.
I'll just add this real quick. Anything that Rob Zombie has directed, I'm not into.
House of a Thousand Corpses. Not a fan.
Keep going.
It's
Keep going. Devil's
oh yeah.
Rejects.
Devil's Rejects.
I can't get into any of his stuff. I just
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I guess I'm the type of person where if you want to get too close, like I don't feel like it's horrifying, but I don't want to watch rape. Like to
Right,
me, that's
yeah.
not a scary horror movie. I mean, it is scary.
Right.
Like would never want that on anybody, but it's just that's when he hits too close to home of home invasion and like,
Mhm.
it just gets I think he just does it to get you to go, ugh. And that's his way of horror is I guess cringy horror. That's his
Yeah.
horror thing. But
I, oh,
anyway, you
yeah,
ruined
he's.
Halloween. It pissed me off.
Oh yeah, those movies
That
fucking
was not
suck.
great.
The only movie I like of his is House of a Thousand Corpses and kind of The Devil's Rejects. I never saw Three from Hell, but all his other movies are just
Oh, you
not
didn't like the
good.
Monsters?
I didn't watch it because
What was
I
that?
It's oh my god, it was terrible. It
Oh,
was
was it?
terrible.
It was a
Okay.
horrible movie.
God
yeah, it
awful.
was. I mean, the Munsters, which he apparently loves and wanted to destroy and kill
Destroy,
forever,
yeah.
dead.
No, nepotism at its greatest. Also, is that
Mhm.
because he's got some Sid Haig is pretty good, but he gets some other people in his wheelhouse that are just not
Mhm.
good. And he's just sleeping with them so they get to be in his movies.
Are you talking about Cheryl Lynn Zombie? She is one of the most talented former stripper porn star actors that is married to Rob Zombie currently. So,
Yep.
Yee. What do you got,
Or-
Ken?
For horror,
Yeah.
horror is always hard
Yeah,
because
it is.
and I should have prefaced this at the beginning. There really is no movie I wouldn't watch. That's just the way I've always been. I'll watch just about anything, and anything can catch my attention, and I'll sit down and watch it. And horror is definitely one of those genres where most of it is schlocky
Mhm.
and overrated in many ways because it is just turning the same trope over and over. But there were a couple that were looked on as high art that I think frustrated me, like Fire in the Sky is what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
That was this is the one where if you
DB
don't know
Sweeney.
it, DB Sweeney, the
didn't
story of them
expect to
being
talk about this today.
Yeah.
them
Sean,
being
you and I talked about this when I recorded your podcast.
Yes.
really there you
Yes.
go.
We talked about the eyeball, the pin in the
Yeah,
eyeball.
yeah,
Like,
the goo and the checking for the yeah. So that one just it fell a little short for me. I think they could have done so much more. I know it was based on a actual true story,
True.
right?
Yeah.
True-ish story, but that one didn't do much for me. The Grudge felt like
Yeah.
a
Yeah, I get
rehash. I
that.
like
Yeah,
The Ring
I'm with
better.
you on that.
I-
The
I
whole
don't like the Japanese. Right. Just clear your throat,
yeah.
please, would you?
Yeah.
And then I guess I would put this under horror. American Psycho. Everybody seems
Oh,
to
you
love
didn't like that
movie,
one,
and
huh?
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think it is overrated, but I also really like it. But I've only gone back to it twice.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I think
it's a good one to quote and look at. But
I
yeah,
enjoyed discussing that film more than I enjoyed watching that film.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
the
think that
amount
was
of
a little bit of for
memes
me.
you can get from it.
Yeah.
There's that. Yeah.
The nostalgia of the
Mhm.
I'm assuming we're all around 80s babies.
Remake coming soon for American Psycho. I want to say yes.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, like a true remake, not
Right.
like where they gender
No.
bent it or something like that. But they're doing. Oh, I heard a name attached to it. I can't remember, but it was one of the new young stars.
Yeah.
Mhm. I
looking
don't
at
know. Just make it good, but also make original movies. Could you try to do
Or
that?
Miles
Hey,
Teller,
hey.
maybe.
Hey, remake Fire in the Sky. Remake that movie.
We actually did a podcast on this.
We did.
Movies
Yeah.
movies we'd remake that need to, ones that should be remade as opposed to the
Oh,
good
yeah,
ones that
that's right. Yes.
Yeah, take terrible movies that had a good premise that fell short.
Yep. And
And-
redo those.
We got a
Yep.
whole list.
Yeah, we
Give
did. We
it
had a whole
somewhere.
list. You're right.
Yeah. Give it to, these young directors, give it $20 million for a budget. Go, here you go. You can do whatever you want.
For those of you who want to watch that actual podcast, just look for one that has Ken Williams as the guest on it.
Just search Ken.
Just search Ken Williams. All right, Sean, what do you got?
I have nothing for horror. I will not speak ill of horror.
Oh!
There's no
Oh.
overrated horror
Okay.
movie.
Okay.
Except, of
Come
course,
on.
Terrifier 2. Fuck that movie directly in its dumb face.
Oh,
Uh, I
Terrifier 1 was good?
I I don't know. I didn't see it. I only saw
Okay.
Terrifier 2, and that had just like an extended 15-minute torture murder scene, and
Yeah.
it's just like, hey, your horror movie is 2.5 hours long, but huge asterisks next to me saying this movie can die forever because it was independently financed and it made a huge shitload of money and it did a great thing for horror. That's why I am totally fine with it as a movie because I think it was up against Joker 2 or no, Terrifier 3 was up against Joker 2
Yeah.
like in the box office and it absolutely housed it, destroyed it.
Yeah.
And this is a
Wasn't hard to do.
over the top Christmas horror movie that was independently financed. So that's why I will say it's a terribly overrated horror movie, but I also totally appreciate what it does for horror movies.
Nice.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
that's why I love so many horror movies because that is the genre that is most attainable to young filmmakers because all you really need is a camera, a couple friends, and the ability to make a movie and
Hey.
that's how so many directors got started because it's like, oh, we just
Yep.
have less lights. Well, we don't have a lot of lights in here anyway. Perfect. Make a
Lloyd
scary
Kaufman
movie.
has
Boom.
made a career out of it. So,
Mhm.
Yep. Sam Raimi, one of our
um,
biggest
yeah.
directors.
mhm. Okay.
Oh,
I
there
I
we
do
go.
have
That's one for me too.
I do have some lists here for horror. Blair Witch Project did nothing for me.
Really?
Like, yeah, the whole found footage piece. I understand, but to me, it fails in every aspect a horror movie should for me.
Okay.
Oh, no,
It created no tense moments. It created no horror. I mean, there was just, yeah. I mean, it psychologically, like the whole when people were caught up in the well, this is a real like. I remember being in college and people like thinking this was a real found footage thing, and I'm like, are you nuts? Like the cast has different names. Like there's act like you. It was no. I just didn't. I didn't buy it. And then along with the found footage thing, when that started hitting, everybody was doing found footage. Paranormal Activity,
Yeah.
like that was a whole lot of nothing for a weird little payoff in the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, just
I
didn't do
agree
it.
with that. Paranormal Activity to me is any ghost hunter show
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
where it's like, did you hear that? No one heard that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what you heard or nobody
It
heard.
totally said, get out and tie your shoes.
Yeah. You crank the
Um,
gain on that so loud we heard the person in the next room. Good
Right.
job.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Olson. I know I'm killing you here, but just wait to my last three here. The Saw series, don't care.
Oh, first
Like,
one I loved. After
but
that,
the-
I don't
the-
care.
The first one was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, I don't care.
I
There's
got
something new.
halfway through the first one and I'm like, can we do something here? Or like, I mean, for me, it was a shit or get off the pot. Like, what are we doing? And again, with the twist endings and stuff like that, with all the parties involved, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Every Friday the 13th movie.
Oh, those are fun. Those are just
I was just,
fun.
yeah, those are just fun.
The
They're
notes
just
I have,
fun.
the notes I have are tits and schlack.
Well,
I
yeah.
think that's
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fun.
I mean,
well, okay, but
I mean,
okay, I did
as
not
a
watch
teenage
these.
boy, what more
yeah,
do you want?
exactly.
Okay, I did not watch these as teenagers. Like I wasn't allowed.
Oh.
Like they were
Right.
outlawed. And even when I worked at the video store, it was tough for me to like try to watch these.
Yeah.
And so I didn't watch them until I think I went to college. So I was like 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
See, I had
And-
the reverse at the video store because
Yeah, you got them right.
well, I was also scared of them because my older brother and I saw a scary movie with them when I was too young, but then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
there's 5 of these movies. I can check out 5 movies at once and they're all the same
Yeah.
thing.
All the same.
So I just, burned through them. It's like, these are amazing.
Yeah. No, my older brother is not a movie buff at all. So like, no, like I didn't get that piece.
Okay.
I was really disappointed with the remake of It. Like,
Oh, really?
Oh,
the
yeah.
recent one?
the recent one, yeah.
Over Tim Curry?
It too. not only just, I mean, Tim Curry, the TV series, I certainly, when I watched that when I was a youngin, um, like that scared me more than these new ones did.
Hmm.
The new ones, I don't, it was,
Well, that's because
they
you're
had
40.
some, well, no, but like they had some jump scares,
Okay.
but the rest was CGI. Like it was, the most terrifying thing was when they had the old lady in the house because those were practical effects.
Right.
Everything else to me looked so CGI.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Oh, I
can
loved
see
it.
that.
I thought it was good.
I thought they did a good
Yeah.
job with it. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't seek it out, but I'll watch it when
Yeah.
it comes out.
No.
I
just
I
didn't
think
do
if they combined the good parts of those two movies, they could have a really decent movie. But
Right.
I just, yeah, did not
mean,
care.
the source material has a lot more psychological depth to it and
Oh,
stuff
that's
like that. So I
the
mean,
source material is crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just didn't do anything.
Hmm.
All right. I'll add one for a bonus. Evil Dead. I never.
Yeah. You never liked the Evil Dead series?
Well, I watched the first one and I understood what it was. It was his first. It was like Sean just
The
said.
college
It's like,
film,
yeah, it was his college film. So
essentially,
I
yeah.
understood it and I was like, okay. The second one, it's like he got a bunch of money to redo the college film that he did, and I was like,
Right.
what the
Yeah.
hell is this?
But I don't know why I don't know why he titled it Evil Dead 2.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know either. And
that was a different, yeah.
I just thought,
Yeah.
where how everybody, and again, it's not that I think the movie's horrible.
Right.
It's, I never understood the hoopla behind it,
Okay.
Mhm.
like the hype. I was like, huh? But
Yeah.
anyway,
I saw Army of Darkness in the theater before I saw any of the Evil Dead films. Like I didn't even know
oh,
they were
okay.
really
You didn't even know
like,
they were like tied together.
No, we saw the preview and I was 15 or 16
Yeah.
and I had some friends that could drive and I'm like, they're like, we're going to go see Army of Darkness. I'm like, I'm in. That looks like silliness and I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
I thought it was
Well,
something, I didn't know it was connected to Evil Dead either. I actually
didn't
did
either.
not know
Yeah.
that.
No
I
idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
it's
think,
boomstick.
Greg, you might have been in the video store when I was like ranting and raving about how much I loved Army of Darkness, and Mark just turned to me and went, "Well, have you seen the other two movies?" And I went, "What? What?"
What other two movies?
And then I was, I got to see Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. I'm like, "Oh my God, oh wow." But yes, I totally understand Evil Dead. Um, but yeah, the second one is where he figured out what the hell he was doing, because the first one,
Filmmaking-wise,
it
yeah.
was just like
It was all
we're
over the
making
place.
we're making a horror movie, and it's,
Yeah.
it will get a little goofy, but we're not gonna. But then they just like, oh no, that's what it is. It's, I'm gonna strap Bruce Campbell to a camera rig and hit him with fucking sticks and drive
Yeah.
through the woods, and I'm gonna do that for the next 40 years. And hey, if you throw
Well,
Bruce Campbell on a camera rig and hit him with sticks, I'll show up.
and I mean, I went back and of course watched Evil Dead 1 and 2. Liked it enough that I went and saw Evil Dead the musical.
Nope. Oh, the musical.
Yeah.
All right.
I went and saw Evil Dead. Yeah, these remakes that they're doing now.
No. Horrible.
No, they're
Horrible.
terrible. Yep.
Disgusting.
Bad,
I,
bad.
I think we talked about that
We did.
on the episode we recorded. Yeah, that was a bad
No good.
gore fest movie, but the only good part of it is that it is connected to other movies.
Yeah.
So it takes it from an F to a D for me.
Did y'all watch that series, the Ash versus the Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, I
that
did
any
not.
good?
I did
Eh.
not.
Yes. I
Yeah.
liked it a lot. It felt very Army of Darkness, Evil Dead.
It was more Army of Darkness. It
Okay.
got a little long in the tooth for me.
Yeah.
I saw a couple episodes, but it wasn't on channels that I had access to at the time, and I think I can catch it streaming now.
Yeah,
Hey, Greg.
it's got to be on something.
I got a
Yes, sir.
question for you. Now we know Sean loves horror movies. Do you like horror movies or no?
Mm, as a genre, it's not one that I seek out as much,
Okay.
but I will say my oldest does. And I've probably watched more horror movies the past year and a half than I ever did prior.
Okay.
Because I mean, she's watching like some of the schlack that comes out, like
Yeah.
some of the direct to video or direct to streaming.
Got it.
kind of
What was that?
stuff.
Thanksgiving and those
Yeah,
ones.
some of those. And she's like, "Do you want to watch this?" And I'm like, "No, but if you turn it on, I'm not leaving the room." So,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I kind of catch things here
Okay.
and there.
Okay. Fair enough.
So like we
I just,
watched.
yeah, I never pinned you as someone that actually liked horror movies. So
No, she's really into like A24, which they put
Yeah,
out some stuff that
right.
I would put in the horror category. She really is getting into Neon,
Okay.
Okay.
some of their
Okay,
films. So
yeah.
like I've seen Smile and Smile 2, and
Yeah.
we just watched Long Legs a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
And so I'm catching some of these. I was on Sean's podcast and I had to watch Mandy. Take a listen to that one when you get a chance, guys.
Yeah, that's
because I thought
that'll
it was a
be 2
we're
weeks.
gonna
different
we're
movie.
gonna
Or
we're gonna
next week,
plug
next
that.
week.
We're gonna
I
plug
thought it
that.
was a different movie, and it was not. So
And he agreed to watch it.
I did. It's in writing on text. I did agree, and I'm a man of my word, so I watched it. But yeah, I guess I don't really feel like I'm gonna go back and rewatch some of the horror that came out in like the 90s, like when I was a teen. Although like
Right.
I love the Warlock series, like the first 2 Warlock films with Julian Sands.
Hell yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those were good.
I mean, those are horror movies, and like somehow
Yeah.
I watched those and I'm like, these are pretty good. Some of the Rutger Hauer horror movies, like sci-fi horror movies that came out in the
Oh,
90s.
Split Second and all
Split
that.
Second.
Yeah.
The Hitcher.
Oh
the
my
Hitcher
God.
was
The Hitcher.
The Hitcher.
Del-
That's right.
Dolph Lundgren
that's-
had one.
I Come in Peace. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
go in
which-
pieces.
but I think they even changed the title of that film. I think
Yes, yeah.
it's
I
like
can't remember what it's-
Angel something, Angel.
Yes.
Really?
Death
Oh,
Angel.
fuck,
Like,
yes.
Yeah, they changed the title of it.
Sean.
So
look it
yeah,
up.
like some
Oh,
of
yeah.
those, so like I said, I'm not opposed to it. But with a daughter that's getting into it, I'm watching more.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Where are we
Dark
at?
Angel. Is,
Dark
we're
Angel?
Dark Angel. Here you go. Heading into sci-fi fantasy.
Sci-fi fantasy. Okay.
I want to go first with the easiest one ever.
Go for it.
Avatar. The most
Oh,
huge,
you took mine.
huge,
God.
Son of a
culturally insignificant, incredibly culturally significant movie that everybody has seen and can't remember. And then everybody's like, I don't care about the sequel. I'm not going to see it. Then everybody went and saw it. And then 6 months later, everybody's like, so when's the Avatar sequel coming out? Oh, the second sequel? The third movie? Yeah. No, I mean the one that the second
but-
one. Oh,
but-
that already came out. What?
But Sean,
Nobody remembers
this
these
one,
movies.
This one, the next one coming out is fire.
Hey, guess what, John? I'm gonna be there, and 6 months later, I'm gonna be like, when the fuck is that Avatar movie coming out? And then
He's-
when the next one comes out, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna watch it, and 6 months later, I'm like, when's the next Avatar movie
Nope.
coming out?
Oh,
He's
God.
king of the world, bitches. Yeah,
I have never.
Oh, yeah,
He's
that's-
king of the world.
Yeah.
He's gonna develop a couple more new camera lenses or cameras, and then everybody
You,
else will
Sean,
just-
you hit the nail on the head. That was mine. Was Avatar. I'm sorry. I don't hate it, but I'm starting to hate it simply because everybody made it out to be just the greatest movie ever, and I was like, this is Dancing with Wolves with blue people.
It's it's Pocahontas with blue
yeah.
people. It's
Ferngully.
Ferngully with blue people. It's white savior stuff.
And I remember
but
when we found out the sequel was coming out, and not only that, the sequel, but the next 7 or something, whatever he has planned.
yeah,
We
Yeah, he's got
never
a few
asked for it.
I'm like,
I
Is it-
can't.
But we
Isn't-
kind of did.
Did
Isn't
when
he
you
in
when you
his
spend that much money
late
on a movie
60s,
and you get
early
that much
70s?
return, you kind of ask for the
Yeah.
sequels.
he's in
Okay.
it. Like he's not a
Fair
young
enough.
man. Like he's never gonna finish these.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, people keep
Good,
going. They keep making
good.
one of the top 10 movies, budgets. I mean, box office records. So
Yeah.
he's going to keep making them.
well, you know what he's gonna do. He's just gonna make Pandora real and then invent the Na'vi and then put a camera there and go, so I'm technically making a movie all the time, and then he'll die.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Sure.
so there's always an Avatar movie. Son of a bitch, he
Oh.
won again.
All for unobtainium.
Yeah, that's
Unobtainium.
why I can just point
Which
at
is
that
the
movie
same
and laugh.
element. That's the same element they find in the core, so that they can get to the
So
Earth's
they-
core
Yep.
and
Make
set
their way
off
down
nuclear bombs.
to reverse
restart it.
the planet. Yeah.
The dumbest thing about it is that unobtainium is a real fucking thing in reality.
Shut up.
It is.
Oh my God.
It's God damn it. This is another pointless thing I half remember. Unobtainium. I don't know.
Did they name it after the
It's
Avatar
some, like-
or the like before it?
I think it's before it, unobtainium. I think it's like a scientific theory or
It is a material that is
Yeah,
ideal for a
God.
specific purpose, but is difficult to impossible. No, it doesn't.
I think it. I swear
He's looking that up. John,
it
do you
was
have another
like a
movie?
scientific thing before that. Yeah.
No, Avatar was my.
That was
That
your
was-
That
one
was your.
sci-fi.
That was your.
That was the
Oh my
one-
God.
Well, because I was
Oh, I
trying
got
to
a few.
think of a sci-fi movie that everybody loved. There's a lot of sci-fi movies that everybody hates, but I couldn't
But
think of
it's
one
just
that everybody loved that I
overrated.
didn't. That I didn't.
Yeah, I got a few.
This
That's
was
what I
your
was-
assignment.
No, I don't know. I
How
had
dare
most.
you, Johnny?
I had most overrated movie. You're the one that broke it up into categories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you are the organizer. You do. You do that.
Surprise.
Sonny's like, I got an idea, and you're like, well, let's break it down into subgenres, and then talk about other subgenres.
So we can get a whole show out of it.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Ken.
All right, you ready? Strap in.
Yeah.
Probably my most controversial one that I wanted to love so much was Highlander.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ken.
sorry, dude.
Come
Sorry.
on, my guy.
Sorry.
We,
Nope.
we're
Nope,
We're
couldn't
the
do it. I couldn't do it
champions
because
of the universe.
because
Heroes of the.
I thought the TV show outpaced the movie, and I
Oh,
thought the
for
second
sure.
Highlander.
For sure.
I thought the
For
second
sure.
Highlander was much better than the first.
Oh no!
The-
Now, no,
the
now
quick-
you,
oh.
now you gone too darn far, Ken.
Wait,
Oh
do
my
I,
God.
Do I have privileges to kick people? Is that allowed? No, I
Jeez.
won't. I won't.
You're
I
not
will take
invited
this.
back.
I will take
after
this.
that.
I will take this because it's true. Highlander, it just didn't. It was,
You probably liked Highlander 3.
no, didn't like Highlander
The
3.
quickening.
But the the
Oh, no,
TV
what was
series-
that one
the
called?
series was, but it was.
I can't remember the
I
third.
remember that. Shut
Now,
up.
I'll admit, like, it's not a well acted film. Like, Christopher Lambert was totally wrong.
Oh, he
with
was
that
horrible.
role.
He was.
The concept is great.
The
And,
concept.
concept is
That's why it's
fantastic.
overrated for
and-
me
and
because
Clancy
the
Brown.
concept is fantastic, and that's
Oh,
why
yeah.
the TV show was so much better, and the Kurgan could have been so much better.
Yeah.
But they didn't let Clancy Brown loose like he should have been. So no, that's,
But that was my introduction to Clancy Brown. So that
Okay.
holds a very special place for me.
all right. Fifth Element.
Oh
You
my
okay,
God.
Greg? You
I'm
okay,
standing
Greg?
here. I'm standing
You
here. And
okay?
I'm saying
Oh my
that
God.
movie was trite.
Oh,
movie
what
was
is wrong
right.
with you?
Trite. It was all about Mila Jovovich in a tiny little bikini.
No.
Bruce
Oh,
Willis
no.
Bruce
Well,
Willis
that-
shooting his load all over the fucking screen. It was
Just
trite.
chewing up scenery, but
Just eating ham like it
For
was.
those of you that
Christmas dinner.
enjoyed Ken here,
oh,
This is his last appearance, apparently. Well, Ken, I'm glad to be here for my first and your last.
I will punch you in the
Wow.
mouth next time I see you.
Sorry.
wow, this
Sorry.
seems like a direct shot at Greg these
I,
last two.
I'm sorry, and I know, and I hold on to your nuts because Alien,
What?
You know the first one?
Alien.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I knew sci-fi.
Wait,
fantasy
why?
was where I was going.
Why
Do you
for
hate
Alien?
science fiction?
No, I
Yeah,
don't
do you
hate. I
just
don't
not
hate
like it?
science fiction. That's the problem.
Oh.
It's probably the. I mean, my favorite movies are a lot of them are sci-fi. But when you are rehashing shit, when you are being trite, when you are just copying someone else, and when you're just rolling on
What
the
do you
nuts
think
of
Alien was copying?
of Giger. No, I don't think. I think that was all show and no go. I don't think
Oh,
that's all it was to me.
Wait a minute, wait a
And
minute.
I'm
Ken,
not saying it
No,
was.
that-
I'm not saying it was
no, that
bad.
production is perfect. The
Oh,
the-
I don't know.
the-
I don't know if it was perfect.
psychological
everybody
horror at
falling
its
into
best.
that production.
No, I can't.
It has been aped for the last since it came out, and it's
Ken,
nah.
I'm sure. I'm not. No joking aside. What didn't you really like about it?
about Alien.
About Alien? I
Well,
understand.
what I didn't like about Alien was because the story itself felt boring to me. It didn't feel like it warranted the amount of action that it had. It felt like it was there was a couple of movies that came out in the 70s that had similar stories of this lost in space and this and yeah, it's been aped, but it also aped itself. It aped some earlier movies as well. And I can't even tell you the name of them right now, but there were some sci-fi movies that came out in the 70s that had similar stories. It just didn't
Dark
again,
Star.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying
Over it. Yeah, I understand. understood.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad.
I don't,
Overrated.
I can't, I,
If we were in a classroom, I would have been jumping up and your
I
family
know,
looked,
I know,
what?
and I knew this was
No.
going to happen because I know you love Fifth Element. I do.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
and I,
Okay. Fifth Element holds a special place for me
I
for
know.
personal reasons. I mean,
I
that was
know.
like one of our first date movies
I'm
that we
sorry.
just connected on. But
And I love you,
I
buddy.
know it gets a
But-
lot of hate. I know that one gets a lot of hate.
But-
I
but
think it is a fun sci-fi movie.
I just
And
wouldn't
Mila
put,
Jovovich is the least of it.
if I'm putting a top 10 sci-fi, those three wouldn't make it in the top 10.
Oh. Are you considered human? Negative. I'm a meat popsicle. Come on.
And the fact that that is an acceptable answer to the card.
Oh, okay. We got to move on because
Oh,
Sorry.
God, Ken.
Ooh, Ken,
Sean, what do you got?
dropped a bomb, man. That was impressive. I almost
why
don't
you-
believe you. I almost believe you just want to make Greg mad.
Well, you want views, right? That's what you want.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Sean.
I came out of the gate strong with Avatar.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Oh, that's it.
true.
You didn't have
yeah.
any more?
Yeah, not really. I'm
Not really. Okay.
pretty
Sci-fi.
pretty forgiving on sci-fi. I mean, I I mean, I can argue the point for Blade Runner. Like,
Oh,
I
now he's
can.
upset.
Oh,
I
actually,
can because
actually,
Blade
I
Runner
agree with you, Sean.
2049 is a better version of that movie. And
Oh,
hey, it is because
fired, shots
instead of
fired.
doing I'm going to make 100 cuts of this movie and eventually be like, Harrison Ford might be a fucking replicant. Hey, that's not what you originally did. Don't fucking decide that 20 years later and then kind of put it into a cut and be like, maybe he's a replicant. Hey, you didn't fucking say that to begin with. And then we get 2049 where they're like, this guy's a replicant. Or is
You-
he? Or isn't he? And just, it's,
But he's aging.
But- but I also love Blade Runner and I have bombed a couple dates trying to get them to watch Blade Runner. So I am also completely guilty on being on the wrong side of this argument. So I'm just arguing the point that Blade Runner, you could just go, oh, how is this anything? But then if you watch Rutger Hauer's speech about Tears in the Rain, you're
man,
just
come
wrong.
on.
That spot right there.
You know what's funny about that movie? That was the first time I was exposed to the good guy, the hero, like the Harrison Ford, getting his ass kicked by the bad guy at the end. It was the first time I experienced the hero not winning the day.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
he only lived because the guy spared his life.
Mm.
And I was like, what? Like, that was like mind blowing to me that the good guy could lose.
Yeah.
And
And-
he was losing easy too. It was like, he was getting his ass handed to him. And I was
Yeah.
shocked by it. I remember that.
Literally, the only reason he lived is because he pulled him up.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
okay, I'll help you, dummy. And now I'm choosing to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
what
was
the-
like, I was like, I remember it floored me. So, okay. Go ahead, Greg.
Okay, so the first one I have, I don't know if it'll actually trigger anybody or not, but our expectations were so high that I think we fooled ourselves into
Okay.
liking this film, like as a society.
Oh, okay.
1999, Phantom Menace.
1999, Sean is going to chime in. This is the best movie I've ever seen. I'm 14. I love this movie.
Yeah.
Everyone is wrong. 2 years later, we'll cut to that, Sean. Phantom Menace isn't the greatest, but I love it. And the next movie is amazing. Cut to Revenge of the Sith coming out. I think I'm done with Star Wars forever. So, yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
I remember
that's
I
not
was
triggering.
sitting in the theater in Whitewater, Wisconsin. You know, I waited in line. We got our tickets. We did the whole thing, and like the credits roll, and everybody's walking out, and we're all just like, "No, it was good. It was good, right? You liked it. It was good. It was good. It was good." And like you're just kidding yourself
That's
into thinking that the performances were good and
that's
Darth Maul, he was awesome, stuff like that. And Jake
Yeah.
Lloyd, like Anakin, well, you know, Darth Maul was awesome. Like,
yeah,
we
you're
just-
right.
We just circular reasoning ourselves
couldn't,
into
yeah.
liking this film.
Absolutely.
and buying the
Oh.
merchandise and getting the VHS when it came out and everything else. And now you're just like, it's a piece of shit.
The only evidence I usually give when discussing the prequels is it's called Star Wars, right? And the opening scroll reads, "The taxation of trade routes and outlying star systems is in dispute." That sentence is the most fucking boring sentence in the history
Drilling?
of cinema.
Drilling? Trade
the
routes
first
are being
crawl-
blocked.
Right. The first crawl was like intergalactic war, the rebels
Yeah.
are fighting back. And this one, it's like, yeah, we got a little trade dispute. Canadians don't want to let in the medicine, so we're
Man,
going to
it would
send some
be
Jedi to have a talk with them.
Yeah.
it would be incredibly cringe if you had a VHS special edition copy
Oh
of
my
Star Wars
gosh.
Episode 1 within reach.
Within
of your
reach,
set.
even.
Yeah,
My
That
I
is-
didn't. I
DVDs
didn't even have to
DVDs are right
struggle
up
to
there.
get it. Like I just had
Oh,
to.
that is something.
If I was
Yeah.
standing, I could
Here's
get mine.
here's the.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
frame
The
that
card that came with it.
Yeah,
Mm.
It looks like it's the Gungan army.
of course.
So yeah, but I have also fallen into the millennial trap of retroactively giving a couple, giving like a star back to episode 1 and 2 and 3. But I mean, I still don't really like the movies, but
They tell the story.
and I
Yeah.
do appreciate the stuff George Lucas attempted to do, despite a lot of it falling flat because Disney.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're not even going to get into those.
Yeah.
Topher Grace of That 70s Show and other films, he actually, when he gets done with a role and he needs to decompress, he edits films. He'll re-edit films. That's like his hobby.
Oh, really?
He did a thing called the Phantom Cut, and it is
Pretty good.
taking episodes 1, 2, and 3 and re-editing them, including with some of the deleted scenes,
Mhm.
into one, I believe, like 2 hour and 15 minute or 2 hour and 20 minute film.
Still too long.
It's two movies.
Is
So
it
he
two?
did I think it's the Phantom edit. I've watched them. They're
Phantom edit.
pretty good. And he also turned the Gungans. He just had them like alien language and then subtitles.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
the way
better.
he did it, you're like, okay, it's better. I mean, I won't call him great, but it's damn sight better. Okay, so that was my first one. Donnie Darko is my second.
Oh, gotta disagree.
I've tried, like, again, like a good film buff. I've tried, I think 4 times.
Never
And
seen it.
I get through it and I go, I just don't care. Like, I just don't care. Like, I
It's
get
a beautiful film.
I get all the things.
So
and
psychological. So
well,
mind
that's just it. I mean,
right.
Cellar door.
It was
I've
like
tried to-
it was
I've
like
tried to
Jacob's
watch
Ladder for
it.
the teen group.
I've tried to watch it from like, I've tried to go like deep with the film buff thing. I've watched it like just at the popcorn ride. I've tried everything in between. I'm just like, I just don't care.
All right.
So yeah,
I-
that one is overrated for me.
I suppose it's okay because I picked on Fifth Element.
And then I think this one we can probably all agree on in sequels of, again, diminishing returns, the sequels of The Matrix. Like,
Yeah. Too
Hands
much
down,
hype.
you're absolutely right. In fact, the
Too
new
much
one
hype.
is horrendous.
And that
God,
I couldn't even sit through that. I
Yeah.
forced
So
myself
bad.
to sit through the whole thing. It was just so
Yeah.
difficult.
it was very bad.
Yeah.
But I think
I'll eventually retry that one. But yeah, it's
we
hard.
everybody on this particular podcast, we all lived through the marketing genius of the first film.
Oh my
where
God,
we're
my whole
like,
family
wh-
went to see it.
Yeah, we're like, what is the Matrix? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then all of a sudden they explain it to you in the film, and you're like, I was blown away to the point where I had to go back and watch it again
Yeah.
to be sure that I actually understood what I was watching. And I was like, okay. And
Yes.
and then as soon as we saw the other ones, like
Yeah. Now I like some fight scenes in there, but that's it.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
this.
There's some good
like-
action.
yeah.
Sure.
What pissed me off about all of that is that at the end, it's like the machines and the humans decided to live with each other. Like what?
Do the
No.
same shit.
but
Right.
you're
No,
like,
no.
how?
Yeah. That's
There's
like
no-
that's like the T-1000 having a picnic with John Connor. Like no.
Right.
That's not how this is going.
No.
So
Yeah.
yeah, God. Ugh.
Nope, agreed.
Ugh.
Do we do romance? Do we care?
I'll go.
I got him if you want him.
I got him too.
Yeah. You got him? Okay, let's do
Yeah.
it. John, what do you got?
Pretty Woman. Don't understand it.
Oh,
Don't know why. Don't know why it was considered such an amazing thing that launched. It relaunched. Ken, let me know. Did it relaunch
yes.
Richard Gere?
Yes,
Gear?
Richard
Yeah.
Gere.
Did it relaunch him into
Yeah, it kind of
like,
brought him back. I mean, so he had a couple of years off there where he hadn't done anything major,
right.
and this kind of brought him back into the after An Officer and Gentleman. This brought him back into the fold of
Okay.
being.
And then it obviously launched Julia Roberts. I just I think when I said I was going over my list today with Ursula, and that's the one where she's like, "Oh, I love that one. Why wouldn't you love that one?" And I just said, I don't think it's meant for me. Like,
No, it's not.
yeah,
No.
so
Also doesn't hold up over time too. If you go back and look at it
Yeah.
again, it's another one that's pretty.
Hmm.
There's some pretty cringy things that happen in that movie.
Oh, is
Jason
there?
Alexander.
Yeah, Jason
Well,
Alexander. Well, him
that
too.
was
I mean,
cringy when that happened.
right.
Yeah.
That was cringy back then. But
Yeah.
even Richard Gere's character and what he does, and
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah. This is the good guy?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Ken.
All right, romance. Ones that I felt were overrated. You Got Mail, which I thought was
Okay.
just
Well, yeah. You know what? Because I recently rewatched it, I love some of the lines in that
Yeah.
movie. Just my favorite line of the movie is when he's running on the treadmill watching a news clip and they cut it short. And he's talking to oh God, comedian. What's his name?
which one? David Allen Greer? What are you talking about?
No. His plays his like second in command in the store. And
Oh.
now he's big time comedian, just won the Mark Twain Award last year. Why can I not remember his name? Somebody help me out. He's
I can't
controversial
think
at
of it.
times. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But Tom
yeah.
Hanks is like, they're like, that's what you said. He's like, I said we got this, we got this. We're a goddamn piazza. I was eloquent. Shit. Just, I don't know. The way he delivers it cracks me up every time. Anyway,
Oh, Steve Zahn?
nope. No.
Oh, Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Why
shit.
why couldn't I
Wow,
not
I
think of
forgot he
Dave
was in that.
Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle.
Because he's very
Chappelle.
non-Dave Chappelle.
And you're right. He doesn't. I forgot he was in that movie. Jerry Maguire. There's another one.
Mhm.
I
there.
like
Yeah.
Jerry Maguire.
Hey, it was all right, but I think it was overrated. I think it was. I don't think Cuba Gooding Jr. deserved to win an Oscar for it.
I agree with that.
overall. And then my big one for this genre is Gone with the Wind.
I've never seen it.
I mean, I love historical drama, but it was just felt a little short for me.
Yeah.
It's so long and it's so.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like any of the characters. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, and you're
Yeah,
with
there's really nobody there
Scarlett
to
and,
support
Nobody redeeming.
what is
Red.
the guy?
Rhett Butler.
Yes, he's the coolest, but I
He's a
mean,
dick.
yes, yeah,
He's kind of an abusive male figure.
yeah, he's an abusive dick, and he's the only one who pops off. But yeah, that movie is. I do love a lot of that movie because it is sweeping and epic, and just
Yeah,
the
beautiful.
shot of her,
Well,
walking
the
through the
filmmaking
wounded and
aspect,
then
Yeah.
pulling
And then-
out of that and seeing the actual people who are laying around her is amazing. But yeah, it's a movie that's like you could watch clips on YouTube and
And be good.
have a film analysis talk you through stuff and go, oh yeah, okay, cool.
Was that MGM?
It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And-
MGM, I think, did a supercut of like some films where they just show the best scenes from that. That's worth it.
And then this one, I did get into a fight with. So I was talking about this a couple of years ago. Moonstruck. Just yeah,
Ooh.
and somebody was like, "No, that's the greatest movie ever." And Sharon, I was like, it was boring. I was bored. And
I know I've seen it as a young man, but I couldn't tell you a single bit about the plot other than
Exactly. See?
other than it's Cher,
Yep.
and it's Nicolas
You're in love with
Sharon,
him. Snap
Nicolas
out of it.
Cage.
Yeah,
Danny,
that's all
Danny
I remember.
Aiello.
That's all I remember is her
Snap out of
slapping
it.
him. Yeah, snap out of it. That's all I remember.
I love that movie because
Yeah.
just the dialogue alone in it, everybody is so fucking sharp and quick. It is not a lot happens, but it is just, miscommunications and love triangles and
Mm.
I forget the dad from Frasier, what his name is.
Uh,
But
uh,
he is in it. John Mahoney.
John
He's
Mahoney.
in it, and he is great because he's like a college professor who always dates younger women,
Okay.
and it kind of backfires him, and he gets a drink thrown in his face, and I think it's Cher's mom or one of the characters' moms who's like, "What is that all about?" And he's like, "Yeah, it happens to me pretty regular," and they kind of flirt a little bit, and they're of the same age, and it's like, "Oh, huh, this is like a real thing," but it's a fun movie, but I also understand. Again, I'm a defender of movies, so
It makes sense. But I
Nah,
gotta say,
well, yeah, they haven't defended all movies, so
yes, yeah,
I'm just
I've
saying.
I've
yes,
gone I've gone after
I'm
some.
a defender of some movies too, but not that one.
John, what do you got?
Love Actually. That movie, I
Doesn't do it for you?
just no, I didn't. Again, I didn't really like anybody in this, and I think like the things that I've seen from it, it's like okay, the cue card thing where they're saying a different thing, and he's saying "I love you" because you're with your husband right now. What the fuck is this
Yeah.
movie? It's just yeah, and it's. I don't watch a ton of romantic movies because a lot of them are incredibly tropey and just hard to watch. So I don't
Yeah, I
watch a
don't
lot of
watch a
these to
lot
begin
myself.
with.
We watch it every Christmas.
Me too.
But there, you know, is it Nigel? What's his name?
Which one?
He plays the rock star, like the Mick Jagger.
Oh, yeah. He was
Oh,
he was
I
David
can't-
Jones.
yeah.
Bill Nighy.
Bill
Bill
Nighy.
Nighy. I'm sorry, yeah, Nighy. I think he's just funny in that film.
Oh yeah.
And him coming to the realization that his manager is actually his best friend. I thought that was a sweet moment.
Yeah.
You're right, the cue card thing. Like I sit there and I'm like, what is she doing? What is she doing? Like what's happening here? Um,
Well, that guy went on to fight a lot of zombies, so just be
did.
nice.
he did. He did a good job.
In a
Still doing a
horrible
good job.
movie.
The other one, Emma Thompson and I was going to say Severus Snape, but that's not his name.
No. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, and now I want to say Hans Gruber, also
Yep.
not
yep.
his name.
You're pushing his name out of my mind with all
Yeah, I
his
know.
roles.
Um,
Alec.
Alan
No.
Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Alan
Yeah,
Rickman.
Thank you.
Alan
you know,
Rickman.
again,
you.
that you're screaming at the screen at that one where what an idiot, what an idiot. And Hugh Grant, who I don't care about him at all, but I did like the lady he had.
Yeah, but that's one of those storylines that
It's another one with like you look at it,
didn't
they keep
age well.
it didn't, and they keep referring
And she
to
wasn't
that.
fat at all.
No, they keep saying like isn't she
She's
chunky?
chunky. I
Or
was
like
she wasn't
what?
even close.
No,
I'm like, if she's
like
fat,
a
holy crap.
size 5. Like, what are you doing?
What am I?
Yeah, really. But still, we watch it every Christmas.
I liked it. But I mean, I
All
like
right.
it because it is schlocky and like I like all movies and I can find
Yes,
that one I just like.
and I do love the Mr. Bean scene. Rowan Atkinson as at the wrapping counter.
Yeah.
But you must have the sprig, sir. That's what makes it. You got another one, Sean?
Shakespeare in Love. We already talked about it
Yeah.
before, but again, that's why did this movie get
What?
everybody to fall in love with it? And yeah, exactly. Because
Money.
it was a decent movie. It's like, okay, cool. It's kind of, a fun retelling of Shakespeare. It's zany, it's modern. Okay, cool, neat, fun, I guess. And oh, everybody loves it and it's the best picture. What the fuck is happening? What is this movie?
No, it's
And then And then it's like, so we got Saving Private Ryan over here, and you're saying this is a good movie, but you like this one better? Why are we doing this? So yeah, yeah, just like I said, I got sidetracked by Oscars.
Greg, you got any?
Oh, of course I do. I do not understand 50 Shades of Grey
Oh,
like
I
that.
don't think any of us do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why women do. Like I've tried to talk to women about it and be like, why is this a thing? Because he's abusive. Like even people that are in like the BDSM culture, they're like, no, that's bad. He's misrepresenting the culture of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean the whole
If you
there's
want that,
safety
watch
issues that, like,
Secretary.
yeah, actually I've seen Secretary and I'm like, there's a mutual respect there between the two of them where I don't know, the whole Christian Grey thing, I don't get it. I don't get it. Um, Kind of along the same massive book series to movie, Twilight.
Oh,
Well,
Like
yeah, it
Jesus
was a
Christ.
fan fiction of Twilight that got
Vampires playing
popular, and
baseball.
then
Jesus Christ.
yeah.
I mean, they sparkle, Greg.
Oh, no,
They
I don't.
sparkle in the sun.
So I was teaching middle school when those novels were hitting big and everybody was reading them. So I tried. I'm like, okay,
Oh wow,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna read what my students are reading,
it's impressive.
and I did the first two. And I'm
oh,
You
like,
got through
this.
two.
I got through
holy
two.
crap!
I got through
Wow.
two, and I like she uses the same metaphors. Like even she has said, Stephanie Meyer has said, like that's not my best one. But just pandering and
Oh, absolute pan.
I'm talking to my wife about it. She's like, well, you've never been a 13-year-old girl, so
True story.
no, you don't get it. And I'm like, that's got to be it. Like I just have no, and the movies didn't help.
No.
What I do love about those films is that they did the first film, and then see, this is bad. I think of a
Robert
name.
Pattinson,
Nope, nope. Her name left my head. She won an Oscar for Up in the Air with George Clooney.
Kristen
Uh,
Stewart. Oh,
nope.
Sandra Bullock.
No, she.
Oh, fuck.
Um, from Pitch Perfect.
Uh, um,
Kendra?
yeah, no, Anna Kendricks.
Anna Kendrick. Yeah, thank you, Anna Kendrick. So she did the first one where she's like a third tier character, third tier player.
Yeah.
And then she goes on, wins an Oscar, and then has to come back and do a third tier character again.
She'd sign the contract already.
Or
Yeah.
exactly, and that was I just saw her like Vanity Fair does a actors going through their most iconic roles, and they said Twilight. She's like, what was it like to go back and have to do that after winning all the awards for Up in the Air and people knowing now that you're like a next level actor and you still have to go do these things? And she's like, there are so many good actors in that film. It's kind of like the Star Wars thing. There are so many good actors that we know of that are in that film now that are just forced to do schlock.
Yep.
And
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're like, oh my God. Like, yeah, Robert Pattinson like took so much crap. How that guy stayed into acting, I don't know how, but he just went and did a bunch of independent films that were like, oh, this
Just
guy's
Think
good.
about what that guy went through first, though. I mean,
I know.
Harry Potter, and then people announce him as Edward in Twilight, and he gets so much hate. And it's like every movie he gets into, people just
Yeah.
say, "Ew, why are you picking him? Why he can't be Batman? He can't be
Yeah.
on and on. He can't.
And he's
be-
so good.
he's versatile. He is versatile.
Mickey 17, Mickey 13 comes out
17,
17. Mickey 17
17.
comes out next week. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks good.
But it looks great.
It also looks a little bit like what was it? What was the one
Moon?
with Moon? Yeah, it looks a little
Yeah,
bit.
it looks
like
a little
Moon.
bit like Moon, but I love Moon. So, what else do I have in romance? I got Twilight. He's just not that into you. Like another.
Yeah.
Did people
God,
like that
yeah.
one?
I think they do.
I think that was rated right where it was supposed to be. I thought.
It was another one of those interconnected storylines, and just didn't do it. The one that I might take some crap for is Sweet Home Alabama.
Holy shit! I was literally just looking that up because that popped into my mind. Oh my
So,
God!
like somebody took the formula off the bathroom wall and just
It's a Lifetime movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is right
It's a
above the
Lifetime
wall.
movie.
No, it's
It's a high budget Hallmark. Yeah.
high
High
budget
budget Hallmark.
Hallmark film. Um, yeah, just I can't do it anymore. Like I tried to convince myself it was a good movie. Like, no, this is fun. It's cute. It's got people. And then I'm like, oh my God, no.
No,
And that is not what happens when lightning hits sand.
with
It
your
just doesn't.
with your Timu Matthew McConaughey.
You are correct.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. That's my romance ones.
All right. I think that's it.
That's all I
Got
got.
all the genres.
I think that's it.
I mean, I had a couple more on there that I
What'd you have, Ken?
other ones.
Yeah.
Like Midnight Cowboy, I didn't really put anywhere. That was one
Mm.
that people keep talking about. That I was kind of like, Breaking Away was another one. That was the bike movie that I just really never really got into, and people like this is late 70s, right? So, and then I was tempted to put Usual Suspects on there because
Ooh.
I watched it and I loved it, and then I keep going back to it. And the more I go back to it, the more holes I see, and I don't know if it's just
Yeah.
me diving too deep into it and thinking too deeply about it. So
It could be.
and that's what I'm thinking. I might just be overthinking it.
I love that movie when it came out, and it has become a laundry folding film for me.
Right.
Like if it's on, sure, I'll keep it on. I'll do house chores or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it deserves more.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, Catch Me If You Can was another one that I wasn't too impressed with.
I like Catch Me If You Can.
It was all right. It was slightly overrated for me.
Yeah, no, I can see that. And because I've tried to go back to that one, I'm just like, it's
Yeah.
okay.
I can't
Okay.
rewatch it. That's the
You know, there was a time where Tom Hanks did a couple movies in a row where they just weren't that good.
oh, like the Wonders. What was it? That Thing You Do.
You don't like that thing you do?
I did, but I don't know. Is
The
that what you're talking
Oneaters.
about?
I love the
The
Oneaters.
I love the New
How many times have you watched it?
Many,
Have you?
A lot.
many times. Yeah.
All right.
I watched
To-
that
to
in
the
the
point
video
where-
store a lot.
If people ask me, if one, it's a wholesome film. Like I could
It
have
is.
that on with my kids around, when they were little. But when somebody says like, who's your favorite bands, made up bands from movies?
The Wonders is
Um,
up there.
Well, I will say the Wonders, but sometimes I'll say Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
people go, what?
What is that from?
Yep, that's me.
That's the Wonders. The one they're
That's
playing
the Wonders.
when they're
Oh,
doing
God.
and their friends like or the front man's like, we should be in the studio recording. He's like, we're not the Wonders right now. We're Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters playing Party at something pier, like
Yeah.
or Summertime at Party Pier.
Oh God, yes. Okay, yep.
So what movies are you talking about then, John? If you're talking about Tom Hanks bad movies.
The one he was in the airport was
The Terminal.
The Terminal?
The Terminal.
I
You
actually,
like
I
The
actually
Terminal?
like The Terminal.
I like The
Terminal.
Terminal.
I'm
I'm
just
trying to
naming
think
movies
of-
now. Like,
Yeah,
what did you
so-
think he was bad in?
Oh, Greg yells at me all the time. I didn't like Joe versus the volcano.
Oh,
That was
come on.
early, but no,
Oh,
come on.
That's early. That's more.
Yeah.
That's back. Are you talking about? Oh, so you're talking about?
No,
Big.
no. There was something after Big, and like he went through a phase where he hit everything. Like he went Big,
There was-
Forrest Gump, the
The
Moon,
one he
Apollo,
did with
and then
where they were-
he hit a couple where you're like, Tom, this isn't you.
You know what?
Well,
Other
I
than
mean-
some moments in Money Pit. I'm not a big
Money
fan
Pit.
of Money Pit.
Oh, I was just about to.
Oh.
Don't you pick on my Money Pit.
I love
There was
that
the one he
movie.
did with
I like Money
her
Pit, too.
in when they were in the people who go to other countries and help them.
Peace Corps. The
Peace Corps.
Volunteers.
The Volunteers. The Volunteers wasn't that great.
Oh my God,
Money
yeah.
Pit was awesome.
Yeah, he,
Awesome.
he had a weird
Better than
80s,
Fifth Element.
90s fall off.
Nope.
It's fun trying to get that in there, but no. Yeah, Volunteers, The Money Pit, Nothing in Common, Every Time We Say Goodbye, Dragnet.
Hmm.
There you go.
Dragnet was awesome.
See, I
I
do.
love
It's Dragnet did not do well in the box office, but I like.
No, that was completely underrated.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
Should we-
but
We'll have
yeah,
to do the
coming on
opposite of this
theaters,
show.
yeah.
We'll have to do the underrated films that
Yeah.
we think should have done better. But
Yeah, that'll be good.
Sequel.
Yeah. All right.
all right, man.
I think
Yeah.
we were way past the time, but it was time well spent.
Anytime
I
we do
always-
these movie shows with guests, we're way
Yeah,
over on time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Heck
I
yeah.
love this part of our podcast when we do this stuff. Ken, as always, it's always a pleasure. Sean, let us know a little bit about this video age before we let you go.
The Video Age is a podcast, and it is about the things we are nostalgic for and the things we are excited to be nostalgic for in the future. Look at it. I have the slogan almost completely down. I do remember all the words for it. But what it is it's a movie podcast talking about different movies, and I want it to feel like the video store did back in the day. Like you can come in and talk about your favorite movie, and I'm doing themes for the months. So this month it's March, so we're doing our spring cult fling. We're doing Midsommar, Mandy, Rosemary's Baby, and another title I can't remember right now. The Wicker Man, the original one, not the Nicolas Cage one. But so it's
Oh,
it's gonna be kind of not the bees, not the bees.
Not the bees.
They're in my
I
mouth.
hate bees.
But it is just a podcast about movies, TV, video games. I'm gonna try and cover everything, but yeah, it's just a general entertainment movie-ish podcast.
Awesome. And so it's called Video Age, the Video Age.
The Video Age. You can go to thevideoage.com. That takes you to the Patreon, but that also has links to everything, and it has all the episodes that are out. And if you join the Patreon for $5 a month, you get early access to the episodes and extra episodes. Got to plug that.
There you go.
Thevideoage.com.
There you go. Greg, you know what to do, my man.
yes, even when you get your friends together to disagree about movies, just remember, don't be a douche.
There you go. For Ken, Sean, the Greg, this is Johnny saying take care. Have a great week. Podcast out.